Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our current podcast. And my name is Yaching.
My name is Chonglen.
I'm a visual artist and also a performance artist.
I am a visual artist as well, and I use some video and installation to make some kind of experimental style video installation.
Yes. So a little bit about myself. I'm originally come from China, and I lived in Germany for a couple of years. And 3 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, I moved from Berlin to New York City. And I'm currently doing I MFA, like Master of Fine Arts.
Um,
You have a longer history living in the United States.
and then I live longer than you. So,
Yeah.
I am from Korea. I came to United States 14 years ago, 2009. And I had family right after I came to US. And after I had child, all of a sudden I want to go back to school. So that's why I decided to do fine art. And now I'm in the MFA program as well. And yeah, what else?
How did we get to know each other, like for the first time?
Uh-huh.
Do you still remember that?
Yeah, I remember the time, like the moment you're sitting at the documentary class.
Yes.
Yes.
So I also learned a little bit of documentary. Yes. It's so documentary one. So it's like a
Right.
introduction of documentary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the Marty Lucas.
Yeah, with the professor who is not teaching anymore, I guess. Yeah. And what were you doing before you moved to the United States?
Before I was working as a fashion designer for 8 years. Was quite a like dynamic life, my 20s.
Yeah.
And then I like the how to say it was difficult living in Korea as a woman alone.
Yes.
Without any strength of money and parents. And I asked, it's hard to explain. Is I can say is a Confucianism is really harsh in Korea. So I couldn't stand there. So I decided to come here. Yeah.
I didn't know that you were a fashion designer before.
No,
Did you say fashion designer?
yeah, but it wasn't that high fashion. I made it like t-shirts, backpack, and pants, that kind of thing. I made some kind of the kind of like blueprint for the clothes. So how to make some kind of project description to send it to the factory. So yeah, that was my job, drawing the
design.
Yeah, design. Yeah, I didn't really sewing, but yeah, but I do. That's why I'm really good at Illustrator and Photoshop, and yeah, the kind of design technology. I'm really familiar with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we have known each other for maybe 1.5 years, something like that. And then recently we finally got together that we decided to open a podcast channel. So it's something very experimental because I think we have a lot of things to share that we think is very important to us, like especially our journey as being an artist, because it's not very easy. There are so many artists in New York City, um, and but it's very difficult to make a living. So
Sure.
I listened to a podcast, and it's like there were art critique or person who work in the art industry, like art professional. She was telling in the whole Germany, like only 5% of the visual artists can actually make a living with their works.
Mhm.
So that means uh artists like artist life is kind of hybrid. You kind of have to do art and then you do something else, right?
Right.
You earn the money.
Mhm. Right, that's crazy. But I kind of surprised it's 5%. I'm thinking maybe less.
Oh,
Yeah.
even less.
Yeah, even less because it's really few people can get attention and actually can sell their work and commitment from museum whatever. Yeah, it is really hard um living as an artist, and people don't think the art working on their own project is not labor, but it's actually really hard working, making the actual like result, like final project.
Mhm.
Like you know, I'm making videos, but I have stay up, several nights sometimes. But people don't think 5 minutes editing video is, they don't see the behind of labors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Mhm.
Because they see a final product and then this final product is always free.
Mhm.
Because you go to art events or you go to gallery art spaces, and then most of the time you don't pay for a ticket. You go there, and then it's kind of um, a weekend plan, or you talk about it, but then the art labor are not being paid off.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right. That's kind of sad. It's like the moms working on the house
yeah,
never can visible.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's also like what the feminist movements was addressing, like in 1960s in the United States, that those labors in the household are not being calculated, like women are not being paid. So that's also one of the reasons why we wanted to open this podcast, because we actually wanted to share this journey with a larger audience.
Mhm.
Yeah, we might not having a solution right away, like a click, but it is important that we keep thinking about it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And that's why I really happy when you say, let's do some project together. Because you and when I'm talking to you, I really kind of feeling connected with you.
Oh,
The life history is a little bit similar.
yeah,
And yeah, and the something we are looking for is very similar. Our goal is very similar.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm. So, what is your goal in the art world, like in the art market? What is like
mhm.
ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal, okay, it's a little bit ambitious to talk about my goal, but
Yeah.
I wanted to I wanted to bring my work to museum.
No, that's not ambitious, because somehow I find it secret. If you want something in the life, you have to say it out loud. And especially to a
Right.
larger audience. And the more people are like chatting around it, and then the most likely the thing is going to come true.
Oh, thank you so much. I hear the kind of things very familiar. Maybe somebody said that.
Or maybe
before.
I said that before, but I think it's important that
Yeah.
as a woman, because while I was growing up in China,
Mhm.
there's nothing wrong with the culture, but I just feel like while I was in the school, I was always being told you have to be very humble
Mhm.
uh
Right.
about what you learn
Mhm.
and about your skill.
Mhm.
So you kind of like have to, when people ask you, "Oh, you're doing this very good job," you're like, "Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's nothing. It's nothing. It's just pure luck."
Same as Korea. It's Confucianism based, It's
Yes.
you don't want to brag about what you're good at. But even you're good at it.
Yeah,
I want to talk about my things, but yeah, it feels kind of like I want to kind of have to humble, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a culture that teach you. I think it's useful in some context, which you want to have more time for yourself to develop your skill and to develop your concept.
Right.
So you stay humble. But then, I think as any human being in the society, you have to communicate your values to the public. That is very, very useful that what you are good at.
Right.
Yeah. And then you tell people that, hey, this, I can do it for people and for you. And this is, you have to trust me that I'm good at it.
Right. Yeah, totally. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's something that kind of issue I have to get over it. And I see the generally Americans, they like to talk about what they are good at it. I want to learn, but I feel kind of awkward when I do that way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very interesting. That's also a culture difference.
Yes.
Like,
Mhm.
I think that's also what we want to address in the podcast because we are facing challenges and excitements when we come to a new country because how they are being educated is different than us.
I went to school 1990,
Yeah.
like that kind of period. It was, yeah, it's much more kind of very conservative and
Yeah.
yeah, you don't want to showing, you have to be keep it down your head. So that was, yeah, I totally agree. It's different than here. And I have kids here. They are Americans. They're born here and totally different culture than. But I don't want to. But I unconsciously I'm talking to them about my education style. So I shouldn't do it. But yeah, it's kind of conflict with different culture in them. Yeah.
Are you saying that you are educating them in the ways that you know?
Yeah, that's like, yeah, you have to listen to your teacher and then don't get too overactive. It's like don't disrupt others. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
polite. That kind
Being
of,
polite.
yeah, being polite.
Yeah. Yeah, because we were born in a very different time.
Mhm.
So, for example, when I went to school, if I say the year, people are going to know how old I am.
And I already say it. I already said it.
So back in the days, like some years ago, and I was in the school. I remember the first time I was in my middle school. I was sitting in the class. Do you know how many people are there in my
You
class?
you are
It was
in China. I don't know that the system one.
73.
Wow.
So, so you kind of have to be humble and quiet. Otherwise,
Yeah.
otherwise the class is just not going to make it because if everybody say their opinions, the teacher cannot go on
Yes.
for the class materials because a class is just lasts for 40 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's just similar. I had a like 45 to 50 when I was in school. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's quite a lot compared to these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree with you. It's like too many kids and one teacher, and you can control if you are like acting just alone.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think those limitations or restrictions or just conditions did something to our mindset.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But coming to America, I realized that most of the time that you actually have to be loud about your opinion.
Right.
Even though that means it's completely wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Sometimes people are saying, but they're very confused what they are saying.
Yeah.
So I was surprised, and then wow, I was kind of yeah. I have to learn that kind of attitude.
Yeah, especially when they were talking about their works in processes,
Mhm.
right? So I think it's quite attractive for the audiences to listen,
Mhm.
like what the process they have been through. Yeah, because that is matter. That is actually what is channeled to the audiences.
Mhm.
So the audiences might not involved in any art profession.
Mhm.
They are people who work in different industries,
Mhm.
and they are interested. Oh, how is this like academical or artistic idea
Mhm.
had a influence on my life?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, how's the critics in China when you are in college, like critic wise?
Critique wise.
Yeah, like how they process production.
So I have to brag about myself. I went to the most prestigious art school, art academy in China, which is located in Beijing. So everybody inside of China who is like art students know about this college. Yeah, I was in the department of experimental art. So that's also one of the most experimental department in the country. And we have a rather smaller class in the college, like 10 people, 12 people, 10 people.
Mhm.
And we have been doing a lot of different interesting classes like installations and about doing surveys about people's decorations in people's home.
Mhm.
You go out of the college, then you interview people. So
Mhm.
those things are very interesting. And the critiques are very harsh.
Mhm.
So the professors always say very directly, this is bullshit. So this is like, this is terrible, and you have more like read with. Um, but we don't critique each other's work,
Not among the peers.
not among the peers. So the professors have a more dominant voice.
Mhm.
I think this is also a cultural thing, like um, hierarchies, hierarchies of the system.
Uh-huh.
Um, so, but after I went to Germany,
Mhm.
I realized that they also give quite direct critiques,
Mhm.
like I don't understand what you're doing, or this is doesn't make any sense to me. So they say it very direct,
Mhm.
but it seems that they have a less hierarchy in their system. So not only your professor can commenting on your work, so your peer can also say, "Okay, I don't understand this. You have to explain it to me."
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to listen to. It's not just like, oh, like this doesn't make sense to me. This is bullshit. But instead, the German who you met is willing to listen or try to understand your work.
Oh, that's actually true. Because
Yeah.
in China, if I couldn't say this is in all the situations, but in the situation that I have been through,
Mm.
if it doesn't make sense for certain people,
Mhm.
then they don't want to listen to explanations because time is kind of like precious.
Right.
It's kind of like money. And I feel like in Germany or in European cities, time is just time.
This time. Right.
But for us, like in China, time is money.
Yes, we have a same idiom. Like time is gold.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you cannot get back.
Right.
Yeah. But in America, classroom settings, I realized that people don't give negative critiques.
Right. So I have different experience as the art students in my college because yeah, I went to college bachelor after I passed my 20s. I started late. So I went to one of the SUNY school in New York. And they're not like art school, but we were visual art department. and they're good professors.
Yeah.
But only one professor were kind of saying truths and kind of harsh. She's from France.
Oh,
Paris.
what a
Yeah.
surprise.
Yeah, right. So most other professors who is real Americans, they just say nice, very nice. They have to think about to like good thing and try not to say negative things. Yeah.
Yeah. So you think that's
Uh,
actually helpful somehow to some degree?
well, maybe it's good. Yeah, it's helpful for their feeling.
Yeah.
I know, but I really want I can improve because
Yeah.
if I all right, if I think I'm good artist and then I'm thinking my work is best and never gonna know what's my weakness.
Yeah.
If I say, oh, my work is so good, and and if nobody says about the something I have to improve, then I never gonna know. So yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to have harsh critics.
Mm. That's very interesting to hear. Yeah, that's true because our system, our educational system is really soft to us in the terms of it's really hard to find out what is the real reactions to your works. So I struggled a lot in that system too, because it seems um it seems that too supportive, right? Too supportive. It's like they don't tell you or they don't give you the advice that you really needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, right. They care about your feelings.
Yeah, but I
It's good, but yeah, I don't know about if makes the artist grow. That I don't know. What do you think?
mm, it's it depends really depends on the personalities.
Right. If you can take that kind of critic, then you will grow. You will get over it. But
I guess that's good and bad because I think the good side is um um it's those harsh critique really makes you have to reflect on what you did, but it can also be a disencouragement that this person stopped doing the things completely, right? That's the worst thing that you wanted to happen in our life because consistency is very important. That you keep doing the things that you are on the path of your life choices, that you keep making effort and you don't get disencouraged or you can get disencouraged. Everybody get disencouraged, but you don't give up.
right. That's the key.
So one of my uh teacher from when I was younger, like I think he was my second teacher for drawing paintings. And he said to me something very significant. He told me, Yaching, one day you will become very successful, and then you look around the people who is next to you, and you will find um, you you achieve something not because of you are better than your peers, but it's because of that you didn't give up. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting because artist life or the life of creation in different ways like music, theater, dance, and visual art, fine art. It's a extremely long process. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's extremely long process and it's hard to stand. You're hard to just keep it because economically you're not supported with it or just artwork. So most people give up because the economic reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that kind of thing is if you stuck something and if you not get over the art wise, then you just give up. But there's
Yes.
always step, something like I believe like art is as a diet. You you lose some certain weight, but it kind of like it doesn't move your weight. Even you keep doing same things, your diet or exercise, and then all of a sudden you get lose weight like after for a while,
Yeah.
after certain times, and then you drop it, and then they keep going. It's kind of like stairs like that.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm giving like a bad example, but it's like yeah, it's like you have steps, not like going this way, I believe, and then you have like certain strength, and then all of a sudden you go up this jump, and then you stay and then go up, that kind of thing. If you keep doing it, you can level up your skill.
No, I can relate it to that. I think it's a great example because I learned painting, drawing, sketching since I was a kid. So you don't see the progress every single day,
Mm,
but you see it kind of like stairs.
right.
So after 3 months of continuing working on this sketch or painting,
Mm.
and then you suddenly see the improvement.
Yeah.
So I guess to have a very good mental health is very important for the artist.
Right. So
Yeah.
yeah, don't give up even though you don't see or jump up or level up.
Yeah.
Some point in time you're gonna yeah.
Yeah.
If you keep working on it, then you will have your next level.
Mm.
Yeah.
But somehow I also feel like that we couldn't promise everybody that, okay, you keep doing this, you will see a result. Maybe they just don't see it like, and then they have to choose another career path.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And that happens. That happens a lot.
Mhm.
But I think being creative or doing art, you can also you it's like it's something that you need your inner strength
Mhm.
that even though I don't see this outcome in certain amount of years, but what it can brings to me, that's a lot.
It is.
That's because you kind of learn the world from doing your art.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What's next?
What's next? Yeah, it's so actually that's actually what we wanted to talk about it in our podcast. But
Mhm.
also we actually wanted to share some some interesting artworks that we have seen.
Right? Yeah.
The artists that we actually inspired from.
If we keep just stuck in one thing, it's like um then you don't want to see outside. You're not
Yeah.
gonna spread your work to influence others,
Yeah.
right?
That's what I learned while I get in touch with the theater work because myself, I really like theater. And then my goal is to be a theater director. But how to become from a like visual artist to a theater director, this is actually a long path.
Mhm.
But what I realized is in theater, there's always audiences.
Mm.
There's always audiences you want to communicate your message to them. So you have to speak their languages. You have to make them understand your intentions. Right?
Exactly. Right. Yeah, I totally agree. So, yeah, even though you have the like that feeling inside of you, but you have to communicate with others to kind of feel share your feeling to others. So communicate through your visual art, and somehow people can understand your feeling. But
Mm.
that's what you're saying. So communicate with others. That's
Yeah.
very important. As an artist, I think what is an artist is role. It's I think can I say first?
Yeah, of course.
Artist has to um bring up use emotion to influence others to realize they are exist, make them understand they are exist. That's mm, that's what I'm thinking. My art is
You mean their existence are
your life.
your life, like
Yeah.
artist's life?
No,
Or
the
other
people.
people?
Other people. Like whoever see my work, like right, human can breathe or something like that. Yeah, then I'm human. I'm breathing. I'm live. Something like that way. Like that kind of thing. I want to make them realize they are alive.
So this is interesting because many people didn't realize it, or
Yeah,
what is
sometimes
the-
think about just work, home, sleep, work and sleep, work and sleep. That kind of like routine, and then you don't do really like your normal ordinary people. If you don't do creative work, their life is just like you don't realize what you're doing.
This is not that we think. Oh, they're
No,
no,
okay.
no. Okay, so it's not we think other people just work and go back home. But that's interesting because that the phenomenon happens in society, right?
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I think I didn't really explain
No,
well.
that you are explaining it very well. It's just yeah, that's so true.
Why you live, why you exist. It's too deep.
It's so
Okay, we can talk about next time. Yeah, this is next episode.
yeah, that's next episode. Although I couldn't promise that I'm actually going to answer this question because I met a lot of very interesting people in New York City. Some of them are musicians, curators, theater makers, visual artists, so on, so on. And I worked with several interesting people. One of them called William Hooker. And it's interesting that he is a very established musician. So he is a drummer. And every time when I saw him playing drums, there's always like certain randomness, like giving up the skills that he had to rediscover what is like drum really is and what is music and what is sound. And it's interesting because we don't always asking ourselves those difficult questions like why we are living here, who are we, and what is our existence. Because it's like a current, it's like a river, it's changing all the time.
Yeah, it can be changed. What your reason to
So
like alive? Yeah,
that's true because our life is like bodies of waters. It's constantly changing. And in order to know those meanings and those significance that we have to be constantly searching for something, constantly searching for the meaning why we are doing art. But I guess people do that sometimes subconsciously. They don't realize it. But if I'm living in a infinite time, like there's no limit, I can just not realizing it. I don't need to think philosophically, right? But because of my life is kind of like finite, I want to understand, I want to grasp the meanings that why am I doing these things for like more than 10 years. And I want to understand other person's meaning, other people's meaning, why you are doing certain things that are different than mine. And based on those interests, so that's why we want to be artists, we want to do art. It's a way to channeling with other people's life and make impact in their lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things we have to talk about.
Right. It's a lot. I'm so excited. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just the beginning.
It is. Yeah.
This is like first.
Actually, I feel so good about talking. I was afraid to what am I gonna say it, but the time's go by already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now 40 minutes over.
Yeah. Now it's 40 minutes. So we kind of have to close it.
Okay.
So we have decided
Mm.
we will update our podcast every,
I don't know.
you don't know. I mean, pretty decided like every Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoons.
Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Like podcast on YouTube.
Okay. Can we do on Zoom? No. We have to get together, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we have to get together. Yeah.
Yeah.
We stuck together.
We start.
Yes.
That's a goal.
Yeah. We stuck together.
We're like a body of.
It's on film now.
Yeah, it's on film, so people will see us
Yeah.
together and doing this, and that's really powerful because
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
because it's not random things bring us together. It's the things that I think is most important to us bring us together, which is art, and I think it has a significant meaning on many people's life.
That's right. Yeah, totally. Its energy is different. When you meet on person and on Zoom, you can still communicate, but meeting energy, and then it's synergy comes from between us.
That's true. So see you next week.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Okay,
Was great.
was great.
Great.